We have a major update revolving around the Boston Celtics and some trade candidates with some news coming from an NBA insider letting us know some Celtics plans that have leaked talking about a specific player in Jrue Holiday, as he has been known to be on the trade block for the Boston Celtics and has been getting some steam picking up about him. So what will that mean for the Boston Celtics and for Joe Mazzulla and how he works to bring this team back to Boston? We'll be bringing down all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I am Bruce Veliz, and I want to give a shout out to everyone in the comment section. Let me know that the audio was messed up on the video. So once again, if you are seeing this video once again, the audio is now fixed. Hope you do enjoy the video. Shout out to everyone down below in the comment section that was letting me know about the audio issues so that we could get it fixed for you guys and get it up back once again right away. Thank you guys so much. Once again, if you are not tuned in or subbed to Celtics Digest, make sure to continue that button. 64% of you guys who watch the videos are not subscribed. And if you want to get these daily uploads and news revolving around this team ASAP, this is the place for you. So definitely hit that button. But without further ado, let's dive in and let's get into this Celtics news hand today. But make sure to grab that snack and let's get into it. And here today, we're going to be discussing how it's already started for the Boston Celtics, as there have been a lot of talks and rumors about this team already regarding the trade market, as once the Celtics had lost to the New York Knicks and ultimately had seen Jayson Tatum go down with a season-ending injury, as we all presume, fans started to panic with the team being in the second apron. Who are we going to trade? How are we going to get out of this salary? Should we tank? All these questions were arise, and definitely on the trade market and on those rumor mills, they were coming in as well. Names and trades with Derrick White, Jaylen Brown, Porziņģis, Sam Hauser, even Jrue Holiday. But one name keeps to be sticking, and that is Celtics guard Jrue Holiday. As we get into today's report from Ricardo Klein from Sports Illustrated, letting us know the Celtics have begun taking trade calls for their star. If we want to dive in and look at this report, like I've mentioned, due to the stiff luxury tax penalties, it's imperative that the Celtics shuffle their roster around and cut some big time salaries off their books. The Celtics could do that in a variety of ways, but one player they have no choice but to part ways with is their veteran guard Jrue Holiday. It's more likely than not that the Celtics will trade him, and they are taking the steps in just doing that. The reasons for it being Jrue Holiday, as we all know, when looking at the Celtics' second apron and luxury tax implications, they are $24 million above the second apron at this very point, which would mean the Boston Celtics would be paying over $500 in luxury tax penalties, something the new owner doesn't want to do. But not only just that, it hinders them from bringing back key free agents like Al Horford, Luke Cornett, and Torrey Craig, and also limits the Celtics from keeping their draft picks. The Celtics already have one of their draft picks frozen from being in the second apron for consecutive seasons, and have the possibility of losing a draft pick where it gets forced to the back of the first round regardless of where the Celtics finish. And those are wary things that the Celtics don't want to have to deal with down the line in 2032, 2033, when things are very uncertain with the future of what this team will actually look like when that time does actually come. So obviously with the Celtics looking to shed that salary, Jrue Holiday makes the most sense because Derrick White not only makes $30 million and can play a solid guard role here, but the Celtics also have Sixth Man of the Year winner from last season, Peyton Pritchard, on a $7 million contract, which is an absolute steal of a deal that they will not get rid of. Peyton Pritchard has proved to the Boston Celtics that he's worthy and deserving of getting that starting role alongside Derrick White, and I think we can all presume to see that happening in next season with Jrue Holiday kind of being out. But let's dive back and look at what Ricardo had to say, as according to NBA insider Jake Fisher, the Celtics have been taking calls for Holiday, as Brian Robb of Mass Live has shared in his latest column, and we dived into this on our channel before, but he said that Jrue Holiday is one name that Boston is listening to, and according to NBA insider Jake Fisher. Rob also added that Holiday should be highly sought after, as Holiday is expected to be on the radar from several Western Conference teams per multiple reports. The 34-year-old guard has spent the past 2 seasons in Boston after the Celtics dealt away Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and 2 future firsts for the defensive stopper during the summer of 2023. Even with Holiday's trade value, though, it isn't exactly where the Celtics would like it to be right now. If they were to move him, the returning package likely wouldn't reflect the player he once was. The veteran guard turned in a relatively underwhelming campaign across the board, both in the regular season and in the postseason. And I would argue to kind of disagree with that. Holiday this season defensively was very, very solid. Offensively, definitely took a little bit of a step back, as his three-point percentage from the corner drastically dropped from 50% going from 60% to 30% this season. That obviously limited his ability to be an offensive creator. We all remember the great plays that Jrue Holiday made for the Boston Celtics in those playoffs just last season versus the Indiana Pacers to get some big games done. And now look at that Pacers team in the finals this year. But not only just that, Holiday also proved this season that when he was absent from the Celtics team, dealing with the mallet finger injury or even other injuries, that the defensive anchor was missing from this roster. So with trading away in Jrue Holiday, it's not like the Celtics are necessarily losing nothing. They're losing a lot of value on the defensive end, someone that's an organizer, a playmaker, but not only just that, a lead veteran and a big voice on and off the court for this Boston Celtics core. Once again, I wish that the Celtics didn't have to do this. I wish Jrue Holiday could still be on this roster, but as we all know, with these tax thresholds really coming into play, and with the new CBA, it's very unlikely for teams to be able to stay constructed for long periods of time with these built-up rosters, and we're going to have to see how these owners really get into the flexibility of how these new teams are going to start being built soon. With that news being related on Holiday, we also have some more news relating on him as well. So if we want to look at this with HP Basketball, that Hall of Famer Mark Stein reported this weekend that Boston is in fact listening to trade offers for Jrue Holiday, something most people assumed. While the focus has been on reducing payroll, sources have told as Matt Moore that Boston is setting the price at a first-round pick, along with whatever reduced salary comes back in this deal. And like I mentioned, the Celtics are looking to shed some salary, probably get back a wing-type player to really fill in that supplementary role for Jayson Tatum, who's obviously going to be out for this season. But not only that, they're still going to need a solid defensive point guard. J.D. Davidson on that team contract, we don't know if he's going to be back. I'm sure he will be, but he's more of an offensive player, similar alongside Baylor Scheierman and Peyton Pritchard in that backup bench core. So I would like the Celtics to presumably look out on the trade market if they do look with a Jrue Holiday trade to kind of get an upgrade at the guard position as a defensive player, maybe to play some bench minutes. I know some teams have been linked to the Celtics already with Jrue Holiday. We've broken that down. It was the Mavericks and the Clippers. The Mavericks don't really have that defensive guard, but the Clippers do in Chris Dunn, and I think he would be a great valuable contract for the Celtics, to get back on a $5 million deal that could really supplement that, pesty defensive play that Jrue Holiday definitely represents for the Boston Celtics, fighting for loose balls, never skipping a beat when being that defensive engine, and always giving his hard work on that side of the floor. Now, for the Celtics as well, there'll also be some other contracts that they definitely have to consider and potentially moving. We've talked about guys like Sam Hauser and Kristaps Porziņģis as well, but it does seem like maybe the focus for the Boston Celtics at this point is looking to move off a guy on Holiday, because they do know for certain that Holiday does have some value out there on the open market, and they'll be able to try to get at least one future asset in return. And I think that is the key point of this as well, is getting that future asset back. You look at the Celtics, who have two picks this season, right? Pick 28 and pick 32. The Celtics, being in the second apron, desperately need these first round and second round picks to draft talent and to have talent, because they don't have the money to sign guys in free agency, because a lot of their money is already tied up to some of their stars. So for the Celtics over these next couple seasons, being able to hit on draft picks or even getting multiple draft picks to have the ability to hit on a plethora of guys or striking gold at least multiple times will be key for the Boston Celtics, and really trying to identify guys that can step up and take key rotational roles. Peyton Pritchard has already been able to do that for the Celtics after getting drafted a couple seasons ago, now looking to be the starting point guard. Baylor Scheierman's looking to take that role of being that starting guard and offensive scorer, our backup guard and scorer for the secondary unit, and I'm sure a guy in Jordan Walsh this offseason is also going to be looking to climb and rise as a defensive wing in this unit, amongst the other players that the Celtics do end up drafting at pick 28 and pick 32, or if they do take those picks and combine to get a higher prospect, that player to make an impact. But not only is it key to get these draft picks now, but also in the future for the possibility of the Celtics to use it down the line. We don't know the uncertainty or what kind of pick the Celtics would get back in return if they were to do involving Jrue Holiday. But if the Celtics were able to nab one first-round pick in a deal for Jrue Holiday, that could be used down the line when they look to combine some of these salaries to go and get an upgrade at a specific position, similar to how Brad Stevens orchestrated 2 off seasons ago, trading away 4 guys to go and get Kristaps Porziņģis and Jrue Holiday. Or it could be a nice key piece that could be a filler player or an impact player right away for this Boston Celtics team in a later draft down the line, when these salary cap implications are still affecting the team, when they still have star players like Jayson Tatum, Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, and whoever gets to suit up in this green and white. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys ultimately think on Jrue Holiday. Like I said, hope the audio was fixed for this video for you guys today, not like the first one. So if you did see it already and you're kind of confused, that is why. But thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. I really do appreciate all the love and support you guys have been giving us down below in the comment section. And Patrick and I will catch you guys on Wednesday once again with another weekly live stream this week with a special guest. So definitely stay tuned for that. Without further ado, guys, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everyone.